I drove a black cab in this city for 26 years before my knees gave me a reason to stop. I know this city the way you know it when you have driven every street of it in every hour, in every weather, with every kind of person in the back seat. I have had prime ministers, and I have had people with nowhere to sleep. I have had people who talked the whole way, and people who were entirely quiet, and I have learned to tell the difference between quiet that is peaceful and quiet that is not. I am telling you this because I want you to understand that I notice things. 26 years of noticing things is its own kind of training. I pulled up at the Ashford Palace East Gate on a cold Wednesday morning in November. I had a drop-off at the Palace Administrative Building. A woman from a law firm, briefcase, pressed coat, not interested in conversation, which suited me fine. The East Gate is the administrative access. It is not the ceremonial approach. There is no tourist flow in the morning. There is just the iron gate and the approach road and the guard on the post. He was standing at the gate post when I pulled up. Full ceremonial dress, red wool, white gloves, the bearskin, the whole of it. Standing in the cold. Wednesday morning in November. No tourists, no procession, nobody watching except me in the cab waiting for the drop-off. I watched him the way I watch things I am interested in. He was standing the way they stand when the cameras are on them in front of the tourists in summer. The weight even through both feet, the shoulders back, the chin level, the stillness that comes from the inside rather than from being held from the outside. He was watching the approach road with the specific quality of attention that I associate with people who have decided that being responsible for something is not conditional on whether anyone is watching. It was 6 degrees. He was in wool and gloves. He did not move. My drop-off got out, thanked me in the brief way of someone who is thinking about their meeting, and walked through the administrative access. The guard gave her the formal acknowledgement, head movement, precise, and went back to watching the approach. I sat in the cab for a moment. I do not usually do this. I have a job to do in 26 years of efficient routing, and sitting in a cab outside a gate after a drop-off is not how I operate. But I sat there for a moment because I was thinking about something. I was thinking about all the people I had driven in 26 years who had done their job in front of no one. I had driven a nurse from a 24-hour shift who had had 3 emergencies, and nobody who thanked her, and nobody who was unkind either. Just the work and the long quiet on the way home. I had driven a magistrate's clerk in the rain, the last clerk in an office that was being consolidated, and she had spent the entire journey talking to no one in particular about the indexing system she had maintained for 19 years, and whether anyone would use it or just start over. I had driven a man who cleaned the overflow drainage channels every winter, a man who had his name on a small plaque on an engineering infrastructure award, and who had pointed it out from the back seat of my cab with the particular satisfaction of a person who knows the award doesn't mean much to anyone except him, but it means something. People doing their job in front of nobody. I rolled down the window. I do not know why I did this. I am not generally a roll-down-the-window person. I said, "Excuse me." He turned his head. He gave me the same correct formal attention he had given the woman from the law firm. I said, "I drove a cab for 26 years. I've seen a lot of people. I just wanted to say you do your job as well in November at 6 in the morning with no one here as you do in August in front of 10,000 people." He looked at me. He said, "Thank you, sir." I said, "Carry on." He returned to the approach. I pulled out and went back to the rank. I have thought about that exchange several times since. Not because it was a big thing. It was not a big thing. He was going to stand there regardless of whether I said anything or not. That is not in question. I thought about it because of the way he said it. Not surprised, not overwhelmed, just, "Thank you, sir," with the same quality of attention he had been giving the empty approach road for however long before I arrived, and would give it for however long after I drove away. I have been a lot of places in this city, and I have seen a lot of people do a lot of jobs, and the particular thing that stays with me from that Wednesday morning in November is not the ceremony, and it is not the uniform. It is the fact that the gate was holding just as well when there was nobody there to see it hold. I know what that takes. 26 years teaches you.